Dave actually brought up a good point before when we were doing goniometry. You would not put a pillow underneath someone's stomach when you're measuring hip extension for goniometry. So normally we would if we put someone prone. Maybe slide down so your feet are hanging off the end. And are you okay with your head position? Yep. Okay. All right. So again, for iliopsoas, you're going to have her in this position, and is this the one you've got up? Yeah. Okay. So you're going to have the knee bent to 90. Oh. For those of you, can you see? As soon as I put her at 90, she's flexing her hip. Okay. So maybe she's tight on both sides. Oh, thank you. Okay. Do you see that her hip is coming up here as soon as I flex her? If I keep going. Yeah. So for her, she's going to have tight musculature. So when we bring her up and I see that motion, I'm going to measure her hip motion here, and I'm not going to lift up her leg. If she didn't do that when I had her at 90, now what I'm going to do, go ahead and relax for me, is I'm going to bring her up until I start to feel her back arch. Okay? Yeah, I know. I don't know why I picked her. No offense. So I bring her leg up, and then again I would have someone else hold it, and I would take that measurement. Okay? Now for the rectus femoris, as long as Jen kept her her front of her hip down on the table, now what we're going to do is measure the knee angle, and so we're going to flex her leg until we start to feel her hip come up. And her hip comes up over here. So go ahead and relax. You doing better? Am I holding you down? Okay, right there. So now I would measure her knee flexion and document it as knee flexion. So those tests, I would put ilio. Okay, so we always list the muscle first, right? Well, except with Thomas test. So always was a bad choice of words. Okay, so prone hip extension, and she would have been minus, we'll say 3 degrees. Okay, and then rectus femoris. Prone knee flexion, and she was at 94 degrees. Okay. All right. Our next 2 tests we don't measure. They're pass-fail. Okay? So I'm going to have you lie on your side facing all of them. And I'm going to give you a pillow. I'm going to have you scoot back so you're nice, close to the edge to me. There you go. So we're going to test the length of the iliotibial band. So I'm going to have you bend the bottom leg like 45. There you go. Good. Perfect. So we're going to do the Ober test and the modified Ober test. How we know if the person has a tight iliotibial band or not is whether or not their leg breaks the plane of being horizontal compared to the ground. Okay? So for this one, the Ober test actually has the knee bent. So we're going to be here. You're going to, so her iliac crest is here. I'm going to push up on her iliac crest to stabilize it. Okay? And I'm pushing a lot, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, her leg should be completely parallel. I should not have her ankle higher than her knee. Okay? I'm bringing her leg so it's in line with her torso. And now I'm going to drop it down, applying that pressure. And her ITB is fine. Okay? Because I'm able to go down past that anatomical neutral position. Whatever group is using NAP, you didn't tell me what it was, and I finally figured it out this time. I don't use that acronym. So the modified Ober is with the knee straight, same position. Boy, are you tight on your anterior hip flexors. And then I'm going to come down again. And she's fine. So there, you can go and sit up. Are you sore from me pushing?
No, you're good.
So there we're going to document Ober Test. If you want, so that we can be consistent, you put ITB. And then now, she was negative. It was not tight. It was unremarkable, so that's going to be a negative. Had she been tight, we would have put a positive. Okay? The modified Ober test would be documented the exact same way.
So should you always do both? Is one preferred?
So the idea is that you are putting the iliotibial band actually on a little bit of slack when you flex the knee, based on where it is oriented compared to the axis of the knee. I'm sorry, you're tightening the ITB when you have the knee bent, okay? Because the ITB goes anterior to the axis of the knee. So when you're straightening the knee, the thought is that you're putting the ITB on a little bit of slack, and if the person is still tight with the knee straight, then it's TFL tightness. Well, what is the TFL distal attachment? It's the IT band. Okay? So anatomically, that rationale doesn't hold up. People in the clinic will typically do both, and you will see people who will have they'll have tightness in different ways. I use that information more to affect my intervention with them, so what position I put them in to stretch, than it is for me to do the differential between TFL or ITB. Okay? All right, so we probably have hamstring. Oh no, it's for the knee. Okay. All right, so these are our muscle